Hey guys, it's MMA Vulture coming at you live with UFC Vegas 102 full card picks and betting breakdown. And let's go ahead and jump right into it with the first bout of the week being Gabriel Bonfim versus Khaos Williams. And I am going with Gabriel Bonfim over Khaos Williams in this first bout. And the reason why is because I think Gabriel Bonfim is a lot more well-rounded. He is coming off of a win over Lusso and a technical knockout loss to Nicholas Dalby, which isn't the best look. But again, Gabriel Bonfim is a very well-rounded fighter, which is why I'm picking him over Khaos Williams. He's got solid kickboxing. He's got a quick, stiff jab. He mixes up his shots really well to the head and to the body. Not only that, he mixes in his grappling and his striking really well together. He also has snappy high and low kicks. He's got good grappling to fall back on if he has any trouble in the striking department with somebody like Khaos Williams, who is known to be a devastating power puncher. But if this does go down to the ground, Khaos Williams is in deep, deep trouble because Gabriel Bonfim has good grappling with strong takedowns. He's got tricky submissions. He maintains control of you when he gets you down, and he's got quick transitions. Gabriel Bonfim is really well versed in the grappling department as well as the striking department, which is why I am picking him. Khaos Williams on the other side is coming off of a KO win over Carlston Harris, who is more known for his grappling abilities, but didn't really take this down to the ground. This is a straight striking war in which Khaos Williams got the better of him. And then we have the win over Rolando Bedoya via split decision, which is a good win. He looked all right in there. His striking still looked clean, crisp. He's got a long, stiff jab as well. Not only that, he's got devastating knockout power like I previously just said. He's got clean, quick combinations. He does tend to get overzealous, though. Something about Khaos Williams is he likes to headhunt. He really likes to attack the head and sometimes just gets overzealous, leaving himself to getting clipped and countered, which is something I believe can happen here with Gabriel Bonfim. Gabriel Bonfim has good counter-striking abilities, so that is something to definitely note. The other thing to note is that Khaos Williams' grappling abilities really aren't the best. He has alright grappling with decent takedown defense and take that with a grain of salt. I think that Gabriel Bonfim will be able to take him down to the ground, be able to maintain control of him, be able to garner that control time, and be able to beat the crap out of him. I think Gabriel Bonfim has a clear-cut grappling advantage. I think striking-wise, it's definitely closer because Khaos Williams definitely has good striking abilities and has that devastating knockout power, but I think Gabriel Bonfim will be too technical, too smart with his striking, and find success with the grappling as well and beat Khaos Williams. Give me Gabriel Bonfim to beat Khaos Williams, and let's look at the odds on this fight, in which we have Gabriel Bonfim sitting at a negative 210, Khaos Williams sitting at a plus 180. I like Bonfim. I think that he can get it done against Khaos Williams. I think that he has a clear-cut grappling advantage. I think striking-wise it's closer, but I still think Gabriel is a lot more technical, a lot more precise of a striker, and I think he's going to get it done here. Bonfim sitting at a negative 210, Khaos sitting at a plus 180. I like Bonfim at negative 210. I think there's a lot of value. Over 1.5 sitting at a negative 144, under 1.5 sitting at a plus 114. I think this goes over. I think that this could hit the cards. I really do. But also, Gabriel could be live to get a submission. I'm going to say Gabriel via decision. I think that's a more likely outcome. I think Khaos Williams is a tough, durable opponent that will last, but I think he's going to lose this bout here. And let's run it to the next bout on this card in Angela Hill versus Ketlen Souza. And in this one, I know it's going to shock a lot of you. I'm going to actually pick Ketlen Souza over Angela Hill. I think Ketlen Souza can win this. Ketlen Souza is coming off of an impressive submission finish over Yasmin Rodrigues and a win over Marnik Man, where she looked good as well. I mean, Ketlen Souza has some legit striking abilities. She's got devastating knockout power. She's got dirty inside boxing. She's got quick hands. She's got clean combination. She mixes up her shots really well to the head and to the body. She's got very good striking. And not only that, she has good grappling. A lot of people don't think that she has good grappling. She has good grappling. She's got strong takedowns. She's got relatively good takedown defense. She knows how to maintain control of you when she gets you down. I think Ketlen Souza is kind of being slept on here a little bit. I think that Angela Hill is, though coming off of a loss to Tabitha Ricci, where she looked relatively good, to be completely honest. Tabitha Ricci is a really good ranked fighter and no bum, no slouch. And she's coming off of the submission finish previously before that to Luana Pinheiro. So Angela Hill is a really good fighter. It's just a matter of which Angela Hill we're getting as well, because sometimes she can be a little bit inconsistent in the sense of she's good one time, then bad one time. And I believe that we have somebody who is a legit prospect in Ketlen Souza. I really do. I think she's very well-rounded, and I think that she could give some problems here to Angela Hill, who, though has been up against really good competition time and time again and has showed out at times, I think that she's up against really good competition again in Ketlen Souza, who is very well-rounded, has devastating knockout power, knows how to mix it up really, really well, and has grappling abilities as well. I am going with Ketlen Souza to beat Angela Hill. I think that this is going to be a very tit-for-tat, back-and-forth fight in which Ketlen Souza gets the better of her. And let's go ahead and look at the odds on this fight, in which we have Ketlen Souza sitting at a plus 105, Angela Hill sitting at a negative 125. I think Ketlen Souza will be able to close the distance. I think she's going to be at a speed advantage. I think even explosiveness, she's a lot more explosive than Angela Hill. I see her being able to enter and exit the pocket quickly, kind of tagging Angela Hill. I also think her shots are going to be a lot more effective in the sense of her power. She's a lot more powerful than Angela Hill, and when she hits her, Angela Hill is definitely going to feel it. So give me Ketlen Souza to beat Angela Hill at plus 105. I love the value on Ketlen Souza. Over 2.5 sitting at a negative 550. Under 2.5 sitting at a plus 400. I like over 2.5, and I like Ketlen Souza. I think that she could get it done here. I think power is the key. Also, she's more well-rounded. I think that she could be quicker and find success and maybe even garnering control time at times. So give me Ketlen Souza to beat Angela Hill. And let's go ahead and move along to the next bout on this card in Rafael Estevam versus Jesus Aguilar. And in this one, I am going with Rafael Estevam over Jesus Aguilar. I feel like that's the only way to go. Rafael Estevam is coming off of an impressive win over Charles Johnson, which is absolutely insane. He went to decision with him. He looked good in the striking. He looked good in the grappling realm of things. And Charles Johnson is a really, really good fighter, to be completely honest. For your second UFC fight to be Charles Johnson and you go out and win it as well, not even like take it to decision and lose. No, he took it to decision and he won it. Charles Johnson is a very rounded fighter, and Rafael went in there and took him out. And he did good in doing so. He looked phenomenal. And then you have the win over Elias, where he absolutely dominated him. So I gotta go with Rafael Estevam. I think he's well-rounded. I think that he has a very good striking with devastating knockout power. He's got the long, stiff jab. He's got really good grappling to back up on if he has any trouble in the striking department. He knows how to maintain control of you. He's very, very good at advancing positions when he's got you down on the ground. He's got quick transitions, tricky submissions as well. I believe that Rafael Estevam has a grappling advantage as well as a height and reach advantage, as you guys can see here. Huge reach advantage as well as a good height advantage as well. 4-inch height advantage and a 6.5-inch reach advantage. I mean, dude, I really think that Estevam is at a huge, huge advantage in every aspect of this fight game. Yes, Jesus Aguilar is no bum, no slouch. I mean, in his UFC debut, he went up against Tatsu Taira. Yes, he got submitted. That was 2 years ago. But to be going up against Tatsu Taira as your UFC debut is pretty impressive. And then you have Shannon Ross, where he got the overhand right. And then the win over Mateus Mendonca via split decision. And then before that, he had a submission win over Stuart Nicole. Jesus Aguilar is a very good fighter. He is no bum, no slouch. I just think that he's going up against somebody who is just way better in every single aspect. Striking-wise, I think Rafael is quicker. He's got the longer reach. He's a lot better at sticking and poking, kind of keeping and maintaining that distance. He's also better in the grappling department, advancing positions, maintaining control, trickier submissions over Jesus Aguilar. I gotta go with Rafael. I think that he's going to beat Jesus Aguilar, and I think that he's going to do it dominantly, to be completely honest with you. And let's go ahead and look at the odds for these two, in which we have Rafael Estevam sitting at a negative 360. Jesus Aguilar sitting at a plus 295. I like Rafael Estevam. I think he's at an advantage in every aspect of this fight game. In terms of striking, yes, they're a little bit closer. Jesus has that overhand right that's very, very dangerous. But Rafael is a lot more technical. He's a lot more precise of a striker. He's very quick, explosive. I got to go with Estevam. Over 2.5 sitting at a negative 180. Under 2.5 sitting at a plus 150. I think that this could go over, but I also think that Rafael is live to end it against Jesus Aguilar. I really do. I think that he's just got a special skill set, and I think that Rafael could definitely knock him out. I really do. I think that Rafael Estevam ends this early, and I think he knocks out Jesus Aguilar. I think he even is live to get a submission, to be completely honest, because he's got a clear-cut grappling advantage. I'm going to go with Rafael via submission. I do think that he could knock him out, but I realistically think that he's at a clear-cut grappling advantage. I think they're a lot closer in terms of striking aspect. So I'm going to go with Rafael to submit Jesus Aguilar. And let's go ahead and run it to the next fight on this card in Valter Walker versus Don'Tale Mayes. And I am going with Valter Walker. I feel like he's the only choice here because Don'Tale Mayes is just too inconsistent. He really is. I mean, look at his record. Lost to Shamil Gaziev, won against Kyle Machado, lost to Nascimento, won against Andrei Arlovsky, then lost to Sakai. I mean, dude, he is super inconsistent. I gotta go with Valter Walker. Valter Walker is coming off of a submission finish over Junior Tafa. Then the loss to Lukasz Brzeski, where definitely wasn't the best look, to be completely honest. Brzeski really isn't the best fighter. But I think that was a little bit of a special circumstance, you know. He lost. Take it with a grain of salt. I think that he's gonna win this fight. Be completely honest, I think that he's too much for Don'Tale Mayes. I think that Don'Tale Mayes is just mediocre. He's a mid-journeyman who's just clunky, slow, and awkward at striking, to be completely honest. He's inconsistent. He doesn't have the greatest power to really knock out his opponents. And his grappling skill set is not the best either. He really is just a mediocre fighter in general, which is why I'm going with Valter Walker. Valter Walker, though, has suspect striking. He kind of strikes like DDP, to be completely honest. He likes to put his head down and just throw these lugging shots, which is kind of hilarious to me. So he does have a little bit of a suspect striking game, but where he mainly shines and his bread and butter is his grappling. He has a very good pressure grappling style that he likes to use against his opponents. He likes to put that pressure on you. He likes to use his strength to take you down, to maintain control of you when he gets you down. He's got devastating ground and pound. He's got quick transition, tricky submissions. His bread and butter is that grappling game, and I think that he's going to get it done here. I think that with his clear-cut grappling advantage, I think that we could see him take down Don'Tale Mayes and land some devastating ground and pound to end it via technical knockout. Give me Valter Walker via technical knockout. And let's look at the odds here between these two, in which Valter Walker sitting at a negative 210, Don'Tale Mayes sitting at a plus 180. I like Valter Walker. I really think that he's the better grappler. Striking-wise, it's definitely a lot closer because Valter likes to put his head down and throw these lugging shots. But I think that he's going to take it to the grappling aspect and take down Don'Tale Mayes. And I think he's going to land some brutal ground and pound to end Don'Tale Mayes via technical knockout. Valter Walker sitting at a negative 210. Don'Tale Mayes sitting at a plus 180. Over 2.5 sitting at a negative 165. Under 2.5 sitting at a plus 135. I like Valter Walker. I think he gets it done. And I think that Don'Tale Mayes is just a mediocre journeyman. And let's run it up to the next fight on this card in Vince Morales versus Elijah Smith. And this is an interesting one, to be completely honest. I am going to go ahead and pick Elijah Smith, which I know is interesting. I I do understand why some people are picking Vince Morales. You have Elijah Smith, who is completely unproven, to be completely honest. I mean, he has the win over Aaron Tal, where it was a very tit-for-tat back and forth between him and Aaron Tal. It was a great fight, to be completely honest. Now he's going up against Vince Morales, who is coming off of the loss to Taylor Lapilus. And Taylor Lapilus is a very well-rounded fighter, a very good fighter, to be completely honest. So take that with a grain of salt. Vince Morales has been up against really good fighters. He has the win over Hunter Azur over in UFL via submission. Vince Morales is a good fighter, but I am going with Elijah Smith. I think that Elijah Smith, coming off of the win against Aaron Tal, yes, it was a very tit-for-tat back and forth, but he ended up winning it. He looked good in the sense of striking and grappling aspects of the fight. He has the win over Josh Walker over in Fury Fighting Championship, where he looked phenomenal. I think Elijah Smith is a very good striker with very quick hands and clean combinations. He's really good at mixing it up. He's also very explosive and quick, which is where I think he has the advantage over Vince Morales in terms of striking. I think in terms of grappling, he even is a good grappler. He's got strong takedowns. He knows how to maintain control of you when he gets you down. I do think that in terms of grappling, it's going to be interesting to see how it fares against Vince Morales, because they both have relatively good grappling, but I think that this is mainly going to be a showing of striking, to be honest. I think that Elijah's going to show that he's a lot quicker, a lot more explosive. I think he's going to find some success in the grappling in the sense of taking down Vince Morales and garnering some control time, but I think majority of this fight is going to be on the feet, and it's going to be Elijah Smith being able to enter and exit the pocket very quickly with his speed and explosiveness. And not only that, he has the height and reach advantage over Vince Morales, so I think that that is something to note. Elijah Smith is going to be the better fighter here. I really do believe so. I think it's going to be a very close back and forth battle, because it's going to be mainly on the feet, to be completely honest. I see very little grappling going down between these two. I think Elijah Smith is going to get the better. I think he's more explosive. He's better at entering and exiting the pocket with ease. And I'm going with Elijah Smith to beat Vince Morales. And let's look at the odds here, in which Elijah Smith sitting at a negative 235, Vince Morales sitting at a plus 200. Elijah Smith, I like him. I really do. I think that he is a very good up-and-coming prospect with dangerous knockout power, with dangerous explosive and speed under his belt. I really think that he's a great prospect to look out for. Over 2.5 sitting at a negative 300, under 2.5 sitting at a plus 240. I think this goes over, and I think it's Elijah Smith getting the better of Vince Morales via decision. And let's go ahead and run it to the next fight on this card in Julia Avila versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. And I am going with Cavalcanti over Julia Avila. I think that Jacqueline Cavalcanti, though coming off of a split decision win over Nora Cornell, looked absolutely phenomenal in that fight. Absolutely phenomenal. And then in her fight against Josiah Nunez, looked dominant in that one as well. I mean, she has some really good wins over some really good opponents, to be completely honest. And now they're handing her somebody in Julia Avila, who I believe just isn't going to be able to stop Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Cavalcanti is special, man. She has insane skills, to be completely honest. She has great striking. She likes to strike from the outside. She's very good at maintaining that distance, kind of peppering her opponents from the outside. She's got a quick, stiff jab. She's got quick hands. She's got clean combinations as well. Snappy high and low kicks. Not only that, she's got a good grappling skill set with strong takedowns. She's got solid takedown defense. She's got really good control in the sense of when she gets you down, she's going to be able to maintain control of you. I gotta go with Cavalcanti. I really think that everywhere this fight goes, she's gonna have the upper hand. In terms of grappling, in terms of striking, I think she's just all around better than Julia Avila. Avila is coming off of a submission loss to Misha Tate. Then you have the win over Julia Storlarenko. Then the loss to Eubanks. I mean, Julia Avila really just isn't at the level of Cavalcanti. Cavalcanti is upcoming. She's surging. She is a really good prospect on the rise. And I think that she's going to absolutely destroy Julia Avila. Avila is a part-time fighter. I mean, she hasn't fought in a year and 2 months. Then previously before that, 2-year layoff. I mean, dude, Julia just doesn't take this fight game seriously, and I think it's going to show here in this fight where she's going to get absolutely destroyed and demolished by Cavalcanti. Give me Jacqueline Cavalcanti to beat Julia Avila. And let's look at the odds here, in which you have Julia Avila sitting at a plus 375, which I agree with. With all those layoffs, she definitely is a part-time fighter. She does not take it seriously, and I think that somebody like Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who is consistently fighting, every 5 months Cavalcanti is fighting. I think that somebody who is progressively getting better versus somebody who is progressively taking time off, not really focused on the fight game, she's going to get destroyed. Give me Cavalcanti at negative 500. I believe that she is definitely going to beat the crap out of Julia Avila. Over 2.5 sitting at a negative 400. Under 2.5 sitting at a plus 300. Honestly, under could be the call, dude. To be completely honest, I think Cavalcanti could get rid of Avila early in this. I like Cavalcanti. I'm going to look into this more. I really think Cavalcanti is live to end this early against Avila. I think she's a lot better of a striker. In terms of grappling, she's even better of a grappler than Julia Avila. Give me Cavalcanti to beat Avila. And let's run it to the next fight on this card, in the main card opener of Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski. And in this one, I'm excited for this one. I am going with Andre Petroski over Rodolfo Vieira. And the reason why is because I believe that striking-wise, Andre Petroski is a lot better of a striker than Rodolfo Vieira. And I think in terms of grappling, he's going to be able to stop Rodolfo Vieira from taking him down and ultimately getting it to where Rodolfo has the advantage. So that is why I'm going with Andre Petroski. I think Andre Petroski is a very well-rounded fighter. He is coming off of a decision win over Dylan Budka. Dylan Budka's a trash can, to be completely honest, so take that one with a grain of salt. Then the win over Josh Fremd, which is actually impressive. Josh Fremd is a really good, talented fighter. Then the loss to Jacob Malkoun, where he got knocked out. The loss to Michael Pieta, where he got knocked out as well. Then the win over Gerald Mearshart. And this one, I feel like, is really something to look at. I really think that Andre Petroski will be able to stop Rodolfo from being able to take him down, maybe even be able to reverse and take down Rodolfo himself. That's what I see happening. I think Andre Petroski's grappling is being overlooked. I really think that his grappling is really good. I think he's going to be able to fare well against Rodolfo Vieira in terms of grappling, in terms of wrestling. The only thing that Rodolfo has better is the jiu-jitsu side of things, the submission side of things. But other than that, the wrestling, the getting down to the ground is going to be the hard part for Rodolfo. He's not going to be able to get Andre Petroski down to the ground. I believe Andre Petroski is going to be able to stop him. I believe he's going to be able to make this a little bit more of a striking fest. And I believe Petroski is going to be the better striker over Rodolfo Vieira and get the better of him. Give me Andre Petroski to beat Rodolfo. I mean, Andre Petroski was stopping Gerald Mearshart's takedowns. I believe he can snub Rodolfo Vieira's takedowns if he can stop Gerald Mearshart's, who is one of the better grapplers in the division. One of the best, if not the best, in the division. So just keep that in mind. And then on the other side, you have Rodolfo, who has all right striking, kind of as awkward and clunky at times, to be completely honest. He's got the quick, stiff jab. He mixes it up relatively well. Take that with a grain of salt. But to be honest, where he shines is the jiu-jitsu. He has really good jiu-jitsu, but he sucks at getting his opponents down to the ground. That middle section where you have to be able to take down your opponent is where he struggles. Yes, when he gets his opponents down, he's really good. But in that midsection of trying to reach his opponent, trying to close that distance to be able to get his opponent down to the ground, he struggles with. So I got to go with Andre Petroski. I think he's going to get it done here, and I think it's going to be a great, great win for Andre Petroski. And let's look at the odds here, in which you have Andre Petroski, as soon as I can find him, Andre Petroski right here sitting at a plus 185. Rodolfo Vieira sitting at a negative 215. I like Petroski. I think he gets it done. I think that grappling-wise, I think he's going to be able to snub the takedowns, maybe even land some of his own. but he's definitely got the striking advantage. I think he's a lot better of a striker than Rodolfo. I think he's a lot less clunky, a lot less awkward on the feet. I think he's also going to be quicker on the feet. So I got to go with Andre Petroski over Rodolfo. And over 1.5 sitting at a -200, under 1.5 sitting at a +160. Give me over. I think this fight goes over, and I think it hits the cards, and I think it's Andre Petroski getting the better of Rodolfo Vieira. And let's go ahead and run it to the next bout on this card in Edmen Shahbazyan versus Dylan Budka. And I am going with Edmen Shahbazyan. I feel like that's the only way to go. Dylan Budka is just mediocre. He's a mediocre fighter with low fight IQ. Not only that, he can't make weight to save his life. He really just isn't the best fighter, to be completely honest, and somebody that I would never trust my money on. So I'm going with Edmen Shahbazyan, who is coming off of the loss to Gerald Meerschaert via submission. I will say he doesn't have the best fight IQ either, because in this fight against Gerald Meerschaert, he could have stood up and possibly knocked him out and kept it to the game plan. But no, he didn't keep it to the game plan, ended up getting submitted by Gerald Meerschaert, in which he really could have won that fight. But it is what it is. It happened how it happened. Edmen Shahbazyan ended up knocking out AJ Dobson before that. He has the loss to Anthony Fluffy Hernandez before that, which Anthony is a top-ranked fighter. Then the loss to Nasruddin, top-ranked fighter. All of Edmen Shahbazyan's losses are to top-ranked fighters who are the best of the best, to be completely honest. Besides Gerald Meerschaert, where he made a simple error and he paid the price for it. I got to go with Edmen. I think that striking-wise, he's a solid kickboxer with knockout power. He mixes up his shots really well to the head and to the body. He's very good at entering and exiting the pocket. He's got snappy high and low kicks. He's got good grappling to fall back on if he needs to. But I really think that he's going to be able to outstrike, be able to snub the takedowns of Dylan Budka, and be able to beat the crap out of Dylan Budka, to be completely honest. I think Edmen Shahbazyan is a lot better. I think Dylan Budka is going to try and look to take this to the ground, but I don't believe he's going to bring enough of a striking threat to one kind of like set up his grappling to be able to take down Edmen. I don't believe his striking is going to bring enough of a threat to even worry about that side of things. So give me Edmen Shahbazyan to beat Dylan Budka. And let's look at the fight odds here, in which Edmen Shahbazyan sitting at a -360, which I agree with, and then Dylan Budka sitting at a +295. I completely agree with these odds. Dylan Budka is a low IQ fighter that is very mediocre and really just can't make weight. So I agree with these odds. Give me Edmen Shahbazyan to beat Dylan Budka. Over 1.5 sitting at a -170. Under 1.5 sitting at a +140. I think Edmen Shahbazyan is live to end this early, to be completely honest. I think Edmen Shahbazyan knocks out Dylan Budka. I think Budka is just terrible and has been chinned before. He got dropped multiple times, and I think Edmen Shahbazyan can do the same here. So give me Shahbazyan to knock out Dylan Budka. And let's look at the next fight on this card, which is a banger, and Jose Delgado versus Connor Matthews. And in this one, I am going with Jose Delgado over Connor Matthews. I think this is a phenomenal fight and a phenomenal matchup between these two. You have Jose Delgado coming off of a knockout win over Ernie Juarez, where he got the knee to the head in the Contender Series. Then you have the win over an LFA via left hook to Lucas Vieira. Dude, Jose Delgado is a very well-rounded fighter. Like, very well-rounded fighter. He has great striking with devastating knockout power. He's got dirty inside boxing with nasty elbows. He's got quick hands. He's got clean combinations. He's got snappy high and low kicks. He's got a very, very heavy arsenal in terms of striking. And then in terms of grappling, he's got solid grappling. He's got strong takedowns. He knows how to maintain control of you when he gets you down. He's got strong takedown defense. So he's really well in terms of every aspect of this fight. So I'm going with Jose Delgado. And then on the other side, you have Connor Matthews, who is coming off of the technical knockout to Dennis Bazooka. And then you have the win over Farias in his Contender Series debut, where he looked good. I'm not going to lie. He had some moments, and He definitely looked good in terms of striking. In terms of grappling, his grappling arsenal really isn't there. He has decent grappling with all right takedown defense. I think that Jose Delgado has a clear-cut grappling advantage. I think in terms of striking, Connor Matthews kind of sometimes gets overzealous, leaving himself open for a overhand right. So that is something to look for. I think Jose Delgado is going to beat Connor Matthews. I really do. I think this is a interesting fight, but I think Jose Delgado has the clear-cut grappling advantage. I think speed-wise, he's at a speed advantage as well. I think striking-wise, it's going to be fairly close, but I think Jose Delgado is better at mixing it up. He's got quicker hands. He's a lot better with his footwork. I got to go with Jose Delgado over Connor Matthews. And let's look at the odds here, in which Jose Delgado sitting at a -275, Connor Matthews sitting at a +235. I like these odds. I think Jose Delgado is going to beat Connor Matthews. Over 1.5 sitting at a -200, under 1.5 sitting at a +160. I like the under 2.5, to be completely honest. I think Jose Delgado could knock out Connor Matthews. I really do. I think Jose Delgado has devastating knockout power. I think that his footwork is exceptional. His fight IQ is exceptional. He's a really, really talented fighter. I'm going with Jose Delgado by knockout. And let's go ahead and run it to the next fight, which is a banger in Ismael Bonfim versus Nazim Sadykhov. And I am going with Ismael Bonfim over Nazim Sadykhov. And the reason why is because I think Ismael Bonfim will be able to beat Nazim Sadykhov in the sense of grappling. I think that he's going to be able to snub the grappling of Nazim Sadykhov and turn this into a straight striking fest. I think Ismael Bonfim has solid grappling with this in the sense of his takedown defense is really, really good. He's very good at stopping takedowns, especially from people that are grapplers. And not only that, he is a solid kickboxer with great striking, with a quick stiff jab. He mixes it up really, really well to the head and to the body. He's got a long, stiff jab. He's very good at entering and exiting the pocket. Very quick, explosive. I like Ismael. Yes, Ismael is coming off of the win over Vince Pichel and the loss to Benoit BSD, where he got submitted. And he did kind of look terrible in that. He gave up a little bit, which is something to note. I did not like seeing that. But I think that here he could get it done. You have the win over Terrence McKinney where he got the flying knee, and the win over Abdusov in his Contender Series debut. I think Ismael Bonfim is a really good, well-rounded fighter that's going to be able to snub the takedowns of Nazim Sadykhov, kind of turn this into a straight striking fest, in which I think he's going to get the better of Nazim Sadykhov. You have Sadykhov, who just went to a majority split or a majority draw over Borishev, who isn't even good. He's a very mediocre fighter, a very mid kind of journeyman is Borishev, to be completely honest. So him going to a draw with him does not look good. But then you have the win over Terrence McKinney, where he submitted him as well. The win over Evan Elder, where he absolutely destroyed him, got the doctor stoppage, and he looked good in doing so. Though Evan Elder did drop him in this. That is something I do want to note. He did get dropped by Evan Elder in this, and I believe Ismael Bonfim definitely has just as good of power, if not even greater power than Evan Elder's, in my opinion. So that is something to note. I think Ismael Bonfim is going to make sure to keep this on the feet, try and snub the takedowns of Nazim Sadykhov. If Sadykhov tries to be a little bit overzealous with the takedowns, I see Ismael being able to reverse it and taking down Nazim Sadykhov himself, to be completely honest. I think Ismael is the better striker. I think he's a lot more rangier. He's able to kind of pick apart his opponents from the outside, and I see that happening against Sadykhov. And then Sadykhov is going to try and shoot in on Ismael, and Ismael has really good takedown defense. He doesn't really like to show his grappling abilities, but he has really good takedown defense. He's going to be able to snub Sadykhov, be able to keep this on the feet, maybe even reverse some takedown attempts from Sadykhov and land them himself and garner some control time. So give me Ismael Bonfim to beat Nazim Sadykhov. And let's look at the odds here, in which Ismael Bonfim sitting at a -175, Nazim Sadykhov sitting at a +150. I like Ismael Bonfim. I think that this is going to be a very, very good fight, a very good matchup. But I think Ismael Bonfim will be able to snub the takedowns, be able to maybe even reverse and land some of his own. But really where he shines is the striking aspect, and I see him picking apart and beating the crap out of Nazim Sadykhov on the feet. I think he's a lot slicker, more technical, more precise of a striker. That's why I'm going with Ismael Bonfim over Nazim Sadykhov. Over 2.5, sitting at a negative 175. Under 2.5, coming in at a plus 145. I like the overs. I think Ismael Bonfim is going to beat Nazim Sadykhov via decision. And let's go ahead and run it to the co-main event of the evening in Kattar versus Youssef Zalal. And I love this fight. This is an absolute banger in which I am picking Youssef Zalal over Kattar. Youssef Zalal is coming off of a 3 submission finish. One over Jack Shore, one over Jarno Aarons, and then the other one over Billy Q. He is a dog. He is somebody who is special. He previously was in the UFC, got dropped, came back, went on an absolute tear, and is still on a tear. And they gave him Kattar. I think he's going to beat Kattar. He is a really well-rounded fighter with great striking. He's got devastating knockout power. He's got quick, clean combinations. He's got great grappling to back it up on if he has any trouble in the striking area against Kattar. With strong takedowns, he maintains control of you when he gets you down. He's got quick transition, tricky submissions. I like Youssef Zalal. He is an absolute dog on the come up with exceptional skills, and this is going to be a make or break moment for him right here. If he can beat the crap out of Kattar, this is going to be absolutely insane. Kattar, on the other hand, is coming off of a loss to Aljamain Sterling and the loss to Arnold Allen where he got a knee injury. So that is something to know. He is dealing with some injuries from previous fights before. So that is not a good look. I really think that Kattar is kind of coming to the later end of his career. He's slowing down. He's not looking quite as good as he used to be completely honest. In terms of speed, explosiveness, everywhere. In terms of grappling, he got absolutely exposed by Aljamain. I mean, given Aljamain Sterling has exceptional grappling abilities, I believe that Youssef Zalal will have the clear-cut grappling advantage. I think striking-wise, it's going to be a lot closer, but I still think Youssef Zalal is going to have the speed and the explosiveness advantage. So I am going with Youssef Zalal to beat Kattar, who's kind of on the end of his career, to be completely honest, and just not looking the same. He's a little bit awkward and clunky on the feet and just slower in general. So give me Youssef Zalal. And let's look at the odds on this fight, in which Kattar coming in at a plus 325. Youssef Zalal is coming in at a negative 390. I like Youssef Zalal. I do kind of think that these odds are a little bit wide, in my opinion. But Youssef Zalal is a very exceptional fighter with a very high skill set. So it's going to be interesting to see how he fares against Kattar. Give me Youssef Zalal. Over 2.5 sitting at a negative 240. Under 2.5 sitting at a plus 190. I like the over. I think that these two are both tough, durable fighters. And I think it's Youssef Zalal getting the better of Kattar. And let's run it to the main event of the evening. If you guys haven't, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And if you guys haven't heard, I created the flock. If you guys want to go ahead and join the flock, we have exclusives with exclusive shorts, members only Discord, members only group bets, as well as members only best MMA bets every week. So if you guys would like, go ahead and join in on that. It'll be in the link in the description. And let's go ahead and jump right into the main event of the evening in Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues. And I am going with Gregory Rodrigues over Cannonier. And it's such an interesting fight here, because Cannonier, I feel like, is coming to the end of his career, and just, yes, he has a lot of losses, but they are to the top ranked contenders. But I am picking Gregory Rodrigues over Cannonier. I know Cannonier is coming off of losses to top ranked contenders, but I can't pick him. He's looking a lot worse as time kind of catches up to him, to be completely honest. He's looking slower. His hands aren't looking as crisp and clean and precise as they used to be. I gotta go with Gregory. Gregory is coming off of a decision win over Christian Leroy Duncan, then the win over Brad Tavares where he knocked him out. And RoboCop has been looking absolutely phenomenal. I believe that this is a make or break moment for Gregory Rodrigues. Just like Youssef Zalal, this is a make or break moment for Gregory Rodrigues. He is number 18 shooting to get into the rankings, and I believe this is a great matchup. He is a great striker with knockout power. He's got dirty inside boxing with his nasty elbows. He mixes up his shots really well to the head and to the body. Same with his grappling. He mixes up his grappling with his striking really well. That is something you definitely want to keep in mind. He's got strong grappling skills with quick transitions, tricky submissions. He knows how to maintain control of you when he gets you down. He's a very well-rounded fighter in Gregory Rodrigues. So that is why I'm going with him. And then on the other side, you have Jared Cannonier, who's coming off of the loss to Kyle Berhalio, one of the best. And then the loss to Nasruddin Imavov, who just took out Israel Adesanya, one of the GOATs of middleweight. So this is going to be a very interesting fight in the sense of, I really think Gregory Rodrigues is going to be able to catch Jared Cannonier because Kyle Berhalio was putting the paws on him too. A few times it looked like Jared Cannonier was going to go out. And then in his fight with Nasruddin put him out. I think speed and explosiveness got to go to Gregory Rodrigues. Jared Cannonier has been looking awkward and clunky on the feet, just slower and just not the same. So I got to go with Gregory. I think that he could catch Jared Cannonier and put him out. I really do. I think that this is going to be an excellent fight where Gregory Rodrigues is going to put Jared Cannonier out. I think he's going to try and strike with him, try and mix in a little bit of the takedowns, and we could see a ground and pound finish. But I really think that Gregory is going to catch him with an overhand and Jared Cannonier is going to get put out. I'm going with Gregory to win against Jared Cannonier. And let's look at the odds here, in which Gregory Rodrigues sitting at a negative 185. Jared Cannonier sitting at a plus 160. I like Gregory. I think explosiveness. I think speed. I think he's got the upper advantage as well as reach. So I'm going with Gregory to beat Jared Cannonier. I think Jared Cannonier's on the end of his career. He's just not looking the same as he used to. And he's been taking a lot of losses and brutal hits as of lately. So I got to go with Gregory. Gregory is on the come up. He's been looking phenomenal in terms of striking, speed, explosiveness, everywhere. Good inside boxing. I got to go with Gregory Rodrigues. Over 2.5 sitting at a negative 105. Under 2.5 sitting at a negative 125. Give me Gregory Rodrigues via knockout over Jared Cannonier. And if you guys haven't, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.